Uh, Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. It is a new month. Let's hope for the best. And this is our Administrative Matters meeting. As is our tradition, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much, and once again, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Our first order of business is public comment. No one has signed up on the sign-up sheet. Sarah, has anyone emailed or called in asking to provide public comment via that mechanism, that platform?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, so before we close public comment, want to give folks another opportunity if they may not have signed up, if they wish to offer public comment, if they're not here for other matters on our agenda. Okay, then we'll move on. We'll close public comment. The next order of business is approval of the minutes. Let's see, Commissioner Stevens, will you do that, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the minutes for the week of September 23rd, 2024.
Thank you. Thank you kindly. That's a proper motion. Colleagues, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Moving right along, review of the upcoming schedule for next week. Sarah Martin. I forgot to introduce ourselves. So oh my goodness. Well, you all know who we are. So, okay, back up, rewind the tape just a tad bit. I'm just so excited. It's a new month and all that. John Kafalis, Commissioner District 1, joined by my colleagues. Whew, take a deep breath. Kristen Stevens, District 2, Jody Shattuck McNally, District 3. Across the way, Lindsay, Clerk and Recorder's Office. Thank you so much for taking notes and recording the meeting, public meeting. We have our acting county manager, Lori Kadrich, Tom from Public Affairs, and of course, Sarah from our commissioner's office, who helps us in so many ways. All of these folks do. Okay, now we can review next week's schedule.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for October 7th through the 12th, 2024. On Monday, October 7th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., there will be a Commissioner's dashboard training in the Commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be a work session for Regional Housing Authority updates in the Commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 9 a.m. on Tuesday, October 8th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual South Platte Basin Roundtable meeting. From 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will host a community conversation, open topic of discussion at the Stove Prairie Elementary School at 3891 Stove Prairie Boulevard in Bellevue. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Environmental and Science Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Lake Estes Conference Room on the third floor or virtually via Zoom. On Wednesday, October 9th, from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Kafalis will attend the Workforce Development Board meeting at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Larimer County at the Loveland Pulliam Club at 2500 East 1st Street in Loveland. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual National Association of Counties Rural Action Caucus meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual National Association of Counties Environment, Energy, and Land Use meeting. From 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., there will be a work session for a quarterly update on the 2024 to 2028 strategic plan in the Commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., there will be a Commissioners/Planning Commission work session in the hearing room on the first floor. On Thursday, October 10th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the Fort Collins Downtown Development Advisory Board Retreat at the Center for Creativity at 200 Matthews Street in Fort Collins. From 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Larimer County Interagency Oversight Group meeting. From 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Colorado Communities for Climate Action Policy Committee meeting. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Finance Committee meeting. On Friday, October 11th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Wildfire Resiliency Code Board meeting at the Laurie Student Center at 1101 Center Avenue Mall in Fort Collins. On Saturday, October 12th, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., Commissioner Cavalis will host a community conversation for the LaPorte community, open topic of discussion at Me Oh My Pie, 3310 West County Road, 54G in LaPorte. From 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Commissioner Stevens will host story time at the Farmers Market at 200 West Oak Street in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Sarah. Colleagues, any questions, comments, adjustments? Commissioner Stevens?
Yeah, I just have one small one. On Tuesday at 1, I have the National Association of Counties Programs and Services Committee, which is a committee I didn't even realize I volunteered for, but it appeared on my schedule, and so apparently I'm going to that.
Thank you. Commissioner Shattuck McNally, anything?
I just wanted to double check on Tuesday, October 8th. Sorry, I was just double checking the South Basin Roundtable meeting, and then on, I think that's it. Considering the last few days, I keep thinking, well, that just seems like something's missing. But yeah, thank you, Sarah, for everything.
I'm good to go. Great. Thank you very much, Sarah. We now move on to the consent agenda. These are typically routine administrative matters, nothing controversial that we can discern. Kind of go through the thing rather quickly. If you're interested in reading about refund of taxes or abatements, the details of all of those things, all of this information, of course, page by page is on the website. So with that in mind, I will begin. This is the consent agenda for today, Tuesday, October 1, 2024. There are actually 13, I believe, petitions for abatement or refund of taxes. In some cases, there have been adjustments to the assessor's value. In other cases, the assessor's value has been upheld. And all of these 13 items pertain to tax years 2023, last year. Yeah, they're all 2023. So that's all. One is for 2022. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like I said, if you want to read the details, they're on the website. Next, we move on to agreements. The first one is a repayment agreement between Larimer County and the Sexual Assault Victim Advocate Center. This has to do with an agreement. It's required to detail the terms of the repayment of funds to SAVA. There was a SAVA grant previously awarded on October 4th, 2022, and there have been lots of discussions. There's been some change in the leadership there, but ultimately the total dollar amount that needs to be repaid is $54,274.78, and this is over a period of time beginning today, 2024, through April 30th, 2026. So those funds need to be repaid, but we want to do it over a period of time to not have the kind of impact that a $54,000 financial impact might have on an organization that does good work in our community. Next, we go on to a government lease purchase agreement. Vehicle leases for the Sheriff's Department. The terms of this agreement, September 1st, 2024 through August 31, 2025. That's the initial term. This is between the commissioners and Financial Pacific Leasing, doing business as Umpqua Bank Equipment Leasing and Finance. Total dollar amount is $65,000 annually. Next agreement, amendment number 1, Source Water Protection Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. We've had a few of these in the last number of weeks. Let's see. The first amendment to the memorandum between the county and Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District. The two entities will promote source water protection in northern waters protection areas and critical watersheds. Windy Gap Water Activity Enterprise has been added to the MOU as they are providing some funds for the project. So this is watershed protection, amendments upon signature through 2026. There's no dollar amount. This is between Natural Resources, the County Natural Resources Department, and Northern Water, and the Windy Gap Water Activity Enterprise. Moving right along, we now move on to appointments. Let me take a breath for a moment. Okay, recommended midterm appointment to the Flood Review Board, Daniel Richardson. Appoint Daniel to a midterm appointment to the Flood Review Board beginning October 1 today, ending June 30th, 2027. We interviewed with Daniel last week, and that was a very constructive and informative interview, and we recommended this individual for appointment to the Flood Review Board. And typically folks on there have to have specific skill sets that help them to serve on this particular board. Moving right along, deeds. A deed of dedication from Roger C. Tangaros for additional right-of-way on County Road 14 for project number 346. This individual is granting additional needed right-of-way for a bridge improvement on County Road 14, project number 346. The term is perpetual between the county and this individual property owner. Moving on to liquor licenses. Liquor license, new issuance. This is for the Clarion Hotel. We had a hearing with them a week or so ago. The Clarion Hotel on East Mulberry. This is a hotel and restaurant license type and approval and issuance. The second item is a special event liquor license permit, 6%, Hiking Boots Ball, Great Old Broads for Wilderness. I think I've heard of that term. I typically don't use that term, though, in my normal conversation. But I think they do wonderful work. This is again, special event permit, 6%, approval and issuance. They're having some type of event. The next item is another special event permit, 6%. This one I actually have participated in a long time ago. Fort Collins Running Club, the Blue Sky Marathon. This is along the Blue Sky Trail. It's quite a great trail marathon race. And at the end, there are adult beverages for those who choose to partake. This is special events, approval, and issuance. Moving on to miscellaneous, and there will be a specific motion to this. This is the first item is assumption of fire control duty submitted by our assistant county manager or acting county manager at the moment. Ratify the assumption of fire control for the Pearl Creek fire that I signed on September 24th, 2024. Next item is notice of lien. These have to do with weed mitigation, natural resources, a letter notifying of bills which accrue as a result of management done by the county on noxious weeds mandated for control, if unpaid, shall become lien against the property of the landowners. This is the dates for this are October 2nd, 2023 through October 31st of last year. I guess this is an ongoing issue, trying to get paid for the work that's been done. The third item is to also notice of lien natural resources and a similar situation, presumably a different property, and this is October 2nd, 2023 through October 31st of last year. Next, we move on to resolutions. Finding and resolution approving the Wellington Operating Company Unit number 26-2 special review and Appeals. We had a hearing on this a while back. Request approval of the FNR findings and resolution approving the Wellington Operations Company special review and appeals to deepen the existing Wellington Field Muddy Unit 26-2 to determine the potential of oil and gas resources at greater depths than currently mined. This public hearing for this item was held on July 17th, 2024. The next item and final item on this consent agenda is findings and resolution approving the Hennius Administrative Special Review short-term rental, requesting approval, FNR, approving this particular short-term rental for a 4-bedroom, 8-guest STR in an existing home. This hearing was held in July 22nd, 2024. Those are the items listed on the consent agenda. I must be having a great day. I also forgot to mention that commissioners can pull something off the consent agenda. So do either of you wish to do so? Nope. Okay, then let's see. We'll ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally. You see that there are 2 motions.
I do.
Please.
Yes, I see there's 2 motions, sir. The first motion, I move the Board of County Commissioners to ratify the assumption of fire control duty for the Pearl Fire signed by Chair John Kafalis on September 24th, 2024.
Thank you. That's a proper motion. Any further discussion, colleagues? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. The next, please.
I move to approve the consent agenda for October 1st, 2024.
Excellent. I don't believe there's any discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That also passes 3-0. We're zipping right along. We don't have any guests, and we have 3 discussion items, 2 proclamations and a recognition. The first is a proclamation recognizing October as Residents' Rights Awareness Month in Larimer County. And I know we have a few folks from our Office of Ombudsman who would like to, Amber or someone, come on up. Good morning, welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record and proceed.
Good morning. My name is Kara Meringue. I'm a long-term care ombudsman for Larimer County. As you can see, I'm joined by a big group today. Our ombudsman team, Eliza Hensley, Sari Oberndorf, and Regional Ombudsman Amber Franzel, as well as the Office on Aging Program Manager Erin Alt and Adult and Aging Services Director Lori Metz, as well as Laura Walker, the Human and Economic Health Services Director. Thank you for allowing our team to be here today and for the opportunity to say a few words about National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month, celebrated each year in October. This is an opportunity to focus on and raise awareness of dignity, respect, and the rights of each resident. The federal nursing home reform law guarantees residents' rights and places a strong emphasis on individual dignity, choice, and self-determination. The law also requires nursing homes to promote and protect the rights of each resident. Residents' Rights Month is a time to raise awareness of these rights and celebrate residents. The theme for 2024 is The Power of My Voice, which emphasizes self-empowerment and recognizes the power of residents being vocal about their interests, personal growth, and right to live full, enriching lives. During Resident Rights Month, we also want to recognize our local long-term care ombudsman program staff and volunteers who work daily to promote residents' rights, assist residents with complaints, and provide information to those who need to find a long-term care facility. We are a team of 4 full-time ombudsmen and 2 volunteers, covering over 3,000 beds and 49 facilities in Larimer County. As always, Commissioners Kafalis, Stevens, and Shattuck McNally, we appreciate your time, your proclamation, and your commitment to the long-term care residents of Larimer County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Let's see. Let's read the proclamation, offer the motion, and then we can make some comments or perhaps ask questions of the staff, and then I reckon we'll do a photo op. Commissioner Stevens, please read the motion or the proclamation.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a proclamation for National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month in 2024 with the theme of The Power of My Voice, which doesn't feel very powerful right now. Whereas there are 1.3 million individuals living in 15,600 nursing homes and over 800,000 individuals living in 28,900 assisted living residential care facilities in the U.S., and whereas the Federal Nursing Home Reform Act of 1987 guarantees residents their individual rights in order to promote and maintain their dignity and autonomy, and whereas all residents should be aware of their rights so they may be empowered to live with dignity and self-determination, and whereas we wish to honor and celebrate these residents, to recognize their rich individuality, and to reaffirm their right to vote and participate politically, including the right to have a say in their care. And whereas individuals and groups across the country will be celebrating Residents' Rights Month with the theme, The Power of My Voice, emphasizing residents' rights to self-determination and to use their voice to make their own choices. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Larimer County, Colorado, that the month of October 2024 is National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month and encourages all community members to join me in these important observances. And the motion?
Yes.
I
Thank you.
move to approve the proclamation declaring October 2024 as Residents' Rights Awareness Month in Larimer County.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. This is an opportunity now to offer some comments, perhaps ask questions of staff. Commissioner Stevens, would you like to begin?
Yeah, so I thank you all for coming today to and bringing us this proclamation. Some years I think we've had a resident come. Sometimes, is there still an art contest? There was an art. No, there's no art contest this year. All right, because I still have the signs from the art contest, and that was really nice to have those. But this is really important that we talk about people who are in assisted living and nursing homes. We know we live in a community that's aging. We know that people still live very full lives, people who live in nursing homes. I worked in a nursing home when I was in college, North Shore in Loveland. And, I met so many delightful people with so many wonderful stories. And so, first of all, I want to say that there's a vibrancy in nursing homes that I think people don't understand that's there. So, I encourage people to visit and volunteer there because they're like I said, this are people with a wealth of knowledge, amazing stories, and live very full lives still. And then second of all, just thank you for making sure that those folks in those nursing homes and care facilities have their rights. And so I know that's a big job. 3,000 beds, 49 facilities across the county. I didn't know those numbers, so I'm grateful to know those numbers. But it's really important to make sure they do. I've also been out when have done get out the vote kind of things and gone into nursing homes to look for ballots, frankly, and had the experience of them saying, "Oh, we've already got all our people to the polls." And so when I asked about people on the list, they were often people who were too incapacitated to vote, or some people had passed on the list, but they were really good about making sure that people in the nursing home voted, which is also something that that we need to, they all have the right to be able to exercise that right. So I'm glad that the nursing homes are conscious of that, and I'm sure you do your part in that as well. So just thank you for bringing this forward. We really honor folks. I hope there's folks watching on TV that get to know that we care about them, we care about their rights, and we're so grateful for you on the Ombudsman team to be able to do that work. It's really important, and it's great to acknowledge you all as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Shattuck McNally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all for bringing this proclamation again. As the liaison and former council member for Office on Aging, the work that you guys do daily for all this time is just so critical and important, and being a voice for those residents, especially when we look back on the pandemic and all the above and beyond measures you took to make sure folks felt connected to their families and had the rights to kind of have that connection and the chance to connect was really important work. I do miss the art contest, but I understand it's sometimes a challenge to find participants and have that in my office and kind of smile every time I see it, because the bird and the art was just so significant and important, such a great message. So I appreciate that. I think back to my grandparents, my grandmothers, and it had their end of their life spent in a long-term care facility. Not for very long, because we were able to keep them in assisted living and kept them. They wanted to live in place as long as they could with dignity and grace, and we were able to honor that and until the end. But to go into a place that unless you come and visit, you don't realize how it can be a place of joy and purpose and people interacting. I remember they ended up in the same care facility that had birds in these bird cages, huge bird cages. And I thought, well, who is helping care of that? But the staff just loved it because they would sit out there and converse in the area and talk and watch the birds, and they have names. And it was just really a joy to sit out there with them and talk and visit when we could. And so I'm grateful for that quality of life. Because it is really important that we understand their rights and have that quality of life. Everyone is entitled to that. We all should be have that right to be treated with consideration, respect, and dignity, and with that self-determination. To be free of mental and physical mistreatment and any kind of involuntary seclusion, which I know is such a risk there. My father had that when he was recovering from his fall. Put him in a room, and sometimes he wouldn't leave that room, so we'd try to make sure we visited every day and try to make sure he put up some pictures and decorate his room for him. But it's just really important that they have that freedom for how they like to move around and visits and security of possessions and choosing how they want their room to look and how their clothes, and just have all of those things that we all take for granted because we do those every day. So I'm really glad we take this moment to reaffirm their right to vote, to participate, to have a say in their care, and to have folks looking out for them. And I just want to thank you for your work. And I really think it's significant, the theme this year, the power of my voice, because we all talk about, your voice matters. And I like the way that power of that voice for these residents, because they do matter, and everyone should have the right to a really good quality of life, no matter what stage of life they're in. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So, thank you very much. A lot of gratitude for your mighty team of four. I do have a couple of questions. I didn't want Karen to get off too easily. Would you please come on back? And it's Karen, right? Or
Kara.
say it again.
Kara, Kara.
Thank you. And you may have. I have two questions. One is, when you mentioned the 49 facilities, were you referring specifically to skilled nursing facilities or nursing homes, or assisted living and nursing homes?
So it's both assisted living and nursing facilities. That's considered both under the umbrella of long-term care.
Yes, thank you. And my second question is, certainly we appreciate that you help people to exercise their right to vote. Given that this particular ballot that will be starting to go out in the next couple of weeks, that I believe is 2 pages with 14 statewide ballot measures and a whole slew of other things, what role does your office play in helping people navigate that and do the best they can to make informed decisions?
So we do, when we visit our communities, we do encourage residents to vote. We remind them that they have the right to do so. We also speak with the administrator of the buildings to remind them. Typically what happens is that they liaise with people from the clerk and recorder's office or other election staff who come in and assist residents in filling out their ballots in the facility. That often kind of reduces the barriers to, instead of going out to a polling place. So typically staff from the county come in and assist with that. So we really do the education piece of reminding people about those rights and making sure that the buildings themselves are fulfilling their obligations to make sure residents can exercise those rights.
Thank you, Kara. And can we assume that folks who live in skilled nursing facilities or assisted living facilities that they're registered to vote. They'll receive a ballot in the mail that they got their blue books.
So I believe getting blue books is sometimes a difficulty. In the past, we've worked with the election office to try to get extra blue books mailed because it is a kind of a communal living facility. The mail works a little bit differently, and so sometimes they don't get their blue books. So that is something that we've tried to locate additional books for residents in the past.
Thank you. And I haven't seen it, but usually the League of Women Voters puts out a little pamphlet that's a little bit easier to navigate. Does your office have a role in making sure that some of those are available at the different facilities, perhaps?
We typically don't take a proactive role, but if residents have questions about that, we can assist them in reaching out to get that or to get more resources.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. So my closing comments before we need to vote on the motion, and then we'll pause for picture. And that is, first of all, I still have. I think I have. Last year there were signs that we had about residents' rights, and I think mine is still somewhere in the office, so I make sure that folks can see it when they come in. Secondly, I think Commissioner Stevens may have mentioned this or alluded to this, but I would welcome an opportunity to visit folks. If that's not too much extra work to figure out scheduling, but I don't know whether it needs to be before November 5th or perhaps next year, but I think it would be helpful if the commissioners, those of us who are able to, could periodically visit folks that are in nursing homes, and perhaps you all could think about that and work on that. And then finally, so the Ombudsman office with the mighty team of 4 is within our Office on Aging, and we must not forget that they do all kinds of amazing things for older adults to help people age in place. And finally, for me, the most important word that everyone shared and in the proclamation is the word dignity. That all of us have a right to live in dignity, regardless of where they live, at home or perhaps in a nursing home setting. So that's all I have to say. Let's see. There's a motion before us, a motion to approve this proclamation declaring this month the Residents' Rights Month. Any further discussion, colleagues, before we vote? Commissioner, you're good? You're good? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. We'll now pause for a couple of minutes, and everybody should come on up. Not the planning folks, that's later, or the economic and workforce. Well, they kind of could come up, but come on up for pictures, please. All right, we took some pictures. Our first proclamation regarding Residents' Rights Awareness Month. Second proclamation declaring October 2024 as Community Planning Month in Larimer County. And who would like to begin this conversation? Mr. Lafferty.
Thanks, Chairman Kafalos, Commissioners. Matt Lafferty, Community Planning Department. Down here today to talk to you a little bit about National Planning Month, Community Planning Month, which is generally held in October of each year. I'd like to start by saying that planning touches every aspect of all of our lives. I think that the community, no matter where you're at, is touched by planning in some way. I'd like to also state that I don't believe that planning ends with planners. It starts with planners and includes a large portion of our community. Therefore, I have a lot of people down here today that wanted to join in and participate in this activity. To begin with, I'd like to extend our gratitude to our CPIR director, Leslie Ellis, Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources, for being our leader and making sure that we have the resources we need to perform our function. I look forward to working with her for a number of more years. I look forward to the fact that Rebecca Everett is now our Community Development Director, and we appreciate all her efforts to support the staff that we have. And then I would like to extend that gratitude onto our three primary management team leaders, Amy White in Code Compliance, Eric Frieden Building, and of course Jenny Oxmaker in the Planning Department. So without those folks, we would have a hard time leading this department. But most of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to the most excellent staff that we have in each of those different silos. The planners that we have are excellent. They're a young bunch. They bring a lot of new thoughts and new visions for the county, and I certainly appreciate the work that they bring. Our co-compliance officers are always out trying to make sure that the community is kept up to speed and that we're making sure that people are following our direction. And of course, our building department is making sure that the built environment is safe and adequate for us. Lastly, I'd like to say that it does touch all of us. There are other departments in our community or in our organization that we work directly with: natural resources, engineering, the health department, economic development, the commissioner's office, and whatnot. And all of us work together to make sure that our community is properly planned and looks out for the benefit of our community. So with this, National Community Planning Month is in the month of October. We're asking that the county commissioners adopt this as Community Planning Month for Larimer County. We are hosting, starting tomorrow through Friday, the State APA Conference. That's the American Planning Association Conference down at the Embassy Suites by the Blue Arena. So it's appropriate that we bring this effort back into the Larimer County, and we recognize that planning is important. The host for that event is the city of Loveland. It's backed by Loveland, Fort Collins, Windsor, Fort Collins, Greeley stepped in, as well as Johnston. So we look forward to that activity taking off. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, and hopefully you will adopt this as a new proclamation.
Thank you, Matt. Is there anyone else on your team here wanting to speak?
No, they all said, hey, why don't you fill out this paper and send it down there and take care of it. So,
And I think
unless Jenny or anybody else, Amy, Rebecca, and Leslie apologized for not being able to attend here today, but she's with us online. So
great. Thank you. So we'll change things up a bit. Before we ask Commissioner Shaddock McNally to read the proclamation and offer the motion, why don't we see if we have any questions or comments? Commissioner Shaddock McNally, would you like to begin? I apologize for forgetting last time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm so glad you're all here today. We work very partner with you and work with you. It's integral, the work that you do with us. Land use and planning is some of the most challenging but rewarding work that we do here at the county. And you guys you take projects from start to finish, the details, you know the code so well, and it's just really important, the work that you do. You guys have cases and people and working with residents as you work them through the projects and their applications. And I know that you treat them all with dignity and respect and try to, find that way that we can work together to balance the needs and also follow the code. Because, and I'm going to make a little joke here, but, if you think about planning, you think about our environment, our resources, wildlife, the riparian areas. I love to make sure we protect all of those. But I was thinking about this, and I'm going to quote some Tolkien here. But if one does not it does not one do to leave a dragon outside of your calculations and planning, because if you live near one, you should plan for the dragon. And so, that's kind of what I was thinking. We have some unusual things around here, and it's important that you plan for that. But, Thomas Edison also said, good fortune is what happens when opportunity meets a really good planning and plan. And you guys are really living those things, and you do a lot of great work to help us kind of implement and think about these things. And we've also had this opportunity with the water plan and some of these opportunities to go through our land use code and think innovatively, and talking about dark skies and night skies and all these things that you do together for us to just evolve and have a really good plan for how this county grows and how we take into account all the different conditions. And I appreciate you. You're a great team, and it's really important. And I see that to get these projects and work together as a planning commission. I'm going back. I was there this morning. It was all day yesterday at the Embassy Suites and the ranch. We have the Colorado Opioid Abatement Conference with the Attorney General, over 500 participants, and it was a great conference. And I was talking to some folks last night. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to be at the planning conference because I think you're sending some planning commissioners." And I thought, "Oh, this is so cool that our ranch and the area is being just used for things that are so important and impact the county, between opioid abatement and now planning." And it's great that they're going to be working with some of our colleagues across the county, that you guys are working and connecting and having those conversations. So I just find that I'll be back there again today before I head for the wildfire conference. So I just wanted to say thank you. I hope you all know we appreciate the diligence, the dedication, and the hard work that you do. You guys matter, and I value your work. And just thank you for making Monday nights kind of enjoyable. And I mean that. I do mean that. You guys, you do great work, and I appreciate you. Thank you. It's really great to celebrate you this month.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stevens, any questions or comments?
I don't think I have any questions. I won't put y'all on the spot with questions, but I also want to extend my gratitude. The work that you do is complicated, and you walk us through it every Monday, sometimes before Mondays, sometimes other days, but we spend a lot of time together, and the work that you do is valuable, and it's very valuable in that you really walk us through very technical things in a very understandable way, in a very logical way, so we can make good decisions for our community, and that's really important. So I thank you for that. I think that also your work is very technical, but it's also really people-centered. You're working with a lot of residents, you're working with neighbors, so the skill set that you have to do both the technical side and that soft people side to make sure that our residents are happy, or at least mostly, is really important. So I have gratitude for all of you. Thank you for your leadership and your work and your thoughtfulness in the work that you do, because you can't really undo plans once things happen. We need to make those good decisions before something happens that we can't undo and that our community is left with. So the work that you do not only helps the people who are trying to, build something or subdivide, but it also helps all the people in our community that we're doing good planning for the future. So thank you for that work. I don't have a quote. The only quote I can think of is "Man plans and God laughs," which is a Yiddish quote. We know that we have to plan through those unexpected kind of situations, including the sort of disasters and all kinds of things. And so I think as climate change and some of our extreme weather become more becomes more unstable and we deal with drought kind of situations, I think the planning gets a little bit more complicated in the work that we have to do. So all that to say, thank you very much for your work. I appreciate all of you, and it is not a bad way to spend Monday night.
It sort of depends on what's on the agenda. Thank you both, commissioners. Well said. I'll just add a few quick comments before we read the proclamation, do the motion, and then vote and then take pictures. First of all, I echo what my colleagues have said. A lot of appreciation, gratitude. Your work is very important, and it's not easy work, not simple. It's very complicated. First of all, I want to express my personal appreciation for folks who've been around, newer folks who've really very patient, in particular with me, to understand the nuances of land use planning and all the information that goes into it. So I'm very grateful for that. A second point I wanted to make is that as I look out here, I see that there are a whole bunch of planning folks, but I also see that there are people from the building division. We have code compliance. So all of these issues intersect very carefully and very closely. So making sure that things are being built safely, making sure that we're respecting people's property rights, and at the same time making sure that the community rights are also being respected, and then of course community development and helping us to figure out land use codes. And when we do serve in that capacity as commissioners, as a reminder, we serve in a quasi-judicial capacity, and oftentimes people will ask us questions about a particular application or proposal, and we need to remind them that we are not really able to speak with them outside of the normal channels of public records and all the rest. So your work is extraordinary, not just figuring out these land use applications, special reviews, special events permits, and trying to streamline our processes, but you're also out in the community. So I'm very grateful that a number of you serve as liaisons to some of our planning advisory committees, and that's not always an easy job. We visit communities like Livermore, and that can be interesting visiting up there. So there's a lot of work that you do that's whatever job description you may have received, there's always the fine print, and we always ask much of our very competent and wonderful and caring staff. I don't have any questions, so we'll ask Commissioner Shadrack McNally, would you be kind enough to read the proclamation and offer the motion, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. This proclamation is for the Community Planning Month. Whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. And whereas community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices of how people work and live. And whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. And whereas the full benefits of planning require public officials and members of the community who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories, and whereas the American Planning Association endorses National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight how planning is essential to recovery and how planners can lead communities to equitable, resilient, and long-lasting recovery, and whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of planning commissions and other local planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of Larimer County. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by professional community and regional planners of Larimer County, and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the month of October 2024 is hereby designated as Community Planning Month in Larimer County in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month, adopted this day of October 1st, 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the proclamation declaring October 2024 as Community Planning Month in Larimer County.
Excellent. Well done. Colleagues, before we vote, any further comments or questions? I actually have one, sorry. And that is, I neglected to mention earlier that I think, one of the big picture aspect of all this is that we live in an amazing county, which is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Colorado. I think we have about 370,000 folks, urban and rural. And so how we manage that growth is really important, especially when you look at the intersection of water use and land use. I'm very grateful that a number of us participated in the Growing Water Smart workshops, and that we're developing a water master plan to help us make good decisions about development standards and water use, and also how do we facilitate this smart growth and into making sure that our land use is not just sprawling all over the place. So that I think that's important to mention. Well, we have a motion before us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. We'll now pause for pictures. Pictures at an exhibition. What? Yeah. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We have one more discussion item. This is also a good thing, of course, a recognition of our Economic and Workforce Development Director, Mark Johnston. And I'll stop there and welcome on Laura and Mark. And good morning, welcome. Please introduce yourselves and tell us what we're here to talk about.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Laura Walker. I serve as the Human and Economic Health Director for the county. And so my service area has a number of different departments, one of which is the Economic and Workforce Development Department. And since we've been talking about two different causes that we're acknowledging through proclamations for the month of October, I'll reflect back to yesterday for the month of September. That was Workforce Development Month nationally. And in the spirit of that, the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment had selected several different projects or regions to honor throughout the month of September. And so in the second week, they chose Economic and Workforce Development here in Larimer County for an extremely successful sector partnership internship program that happened over the summer. We had a record number of applications from young people for the program, over 300 applications, and a dozen of those applications were selected to be placed in internships. And in particular, referencing this award that was given to us, one of those interns at Fiberlok Technologies, are a partner with Economic and Workforce Development that has been working with us for years to enhance their workforce. One of those interns received a long-term permanent position with Fiberlok, and so have started off their career with a bang, with a very solid company with a good history and great experience through that internship program. So Mark Johnston is here. He's our director for Economic and Workforce Development, and I would welcome him to field any questions from the commissioners that you may have about this award.
Good morning.
Thank you, Laura. Mark, would you, is there anything you'd like to add?
I think she hit a home run there. Over 300 young people, 16 to 18-year-olds. This is a beautiful, beautiful example of public-private partnership. The sector partnership funds half of this, private business funds the other half, and then economic and workforce development acts as the intermediary to recruit, help prepare young people, place them, and then construct a mentoring program with those employers that select. So it's really nice, nice collaboration.
Thanks, Mark. Colleagues, do you have any questions or comments for our colleagues here? Commissioner Stevens?
Yeah, well, congratulations, Mark. And yeah, 300 applicants. I mean, it shows that there's a lot of desire for this in the community. And it's really exciting when people get placed in those opportunities too, after that they were well prepared and that they were considered to be a good employee. And so I think this is such a great entry into, good jobs, higher paying jobs. And it's beneficial for both, it's beneficial for the community, it's beneficial for the businesses that are associated with this program, and for the young people who get those opportunities. So I think that there's, I always say that you're just not introduced to that many jobs when you're a young person. So you kind of know what your parents do, and you maybe know what your neighbors do, and then that's about it. And there's so many great jobs out there. And so getting young people to that exposure to those possibilities is really remarkable. And so congratulations on the award, well deserved, and just thank you for your hard work. And sort of there's a lot of elements to your job, and we appreciate that. I think that the work that we do with young people in our community is particularly important. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Shattuck McNally?
Thank you. Mark and Laura, thank you for being here today. And it's just so timely to, like you said, to have this today and have this award. Remarkable award. Thank you so much. Congratulations. And I agree with a lot of what Commissioner Stevens says, so I don't want to be repetitive, but I think internships are critical. It can really strengthen someone's resolve to see there's a pathway forward and see what a great career this could be. It also could show sometimes folks, hey, maybe I should look at it something different, and so make sure they don't head down the wrong pathway. And that we've done that with supporting some of the internship programs with the wildland firefighters, right? We had one of those interns that we supported as commissioners that ended up fighting and the Alexander Mountain Fire, and volunteered and was there, roots in the ground, and now knows that this is that pathway. And the other intern, like, no, I think I'm more behind the scenes gal. I don't want to do this pathway. So I think it's really important to give those experiences to youth, and it's and even older adults too, right? This is really important to have those opportunities. But this is exciting. I think to keep local youth and local from the colleges and CT programs locally and in these local businesses. They're looking for really high quality workers, and so this pairs up and partners that pipeline or that career pathway with these opportunities. And these are great businesses, and I'm glad we can support this. Your department does fantastic work, and it's really cool to have this this collaborative effort and be recognized in the congratulations. Just really exciting. To hear about this and to hear about the number of applications. I mean, that shows a really healthy economy and a healthy area for growth and jobs, and to be one of those to be recognized, just really remarkable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. I have a couple of questions and then some inspirational words, perhaps. One is, well, certainly, again, what my colleagues have said, just a lot of appreciation for all the hard work that you all do in your different capacities. One question I have, Mark, is could you say a little bit more about the different sector partnerships
Sure.
and how I think part of our claim to fame and why we do so well overall is we take a regional approach, and how does that work? You know, sector partnerships, working closely with our region and certainly Weld County, and maybe how programs like this internship program that you got the award for, how that helps with addressing gaps in the talent pipeline.
Yep.
A couple of questions in there, sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think Weld Larimer County, I'd start with joint MOU between workforce boards, really authentic regionalism happening, starting there, I guess, at a foundational level. Sector partnerships here in northern Colorado, again, Weld Larimer, we have the healthcare sector, we have manufacturing, we have a constructions, skilled trade, we have hospitality, and we have a nonprofit. And there's some development of a financial as the sixth. These sector partnerships really are business-led, and I think that's key. It's business leaders getting around the table with the commonality of a sector and identifying challenges that they're working on. And then what you see is a lot of the supports in the community kind of wrapped around that circle, listening, being curious, and then suggesting solutions that may come up. A lot of times they fall back to talent and workforce development. And so that's where you see the K-12 systems, the community colleges, your 4 years, your chambers, your public workforce systems, all then trying to work in this regional ecosystem to solve, to help tee up solutions then for these businesses.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if I may elaborate then, the sector partnership then, and the manufacturing and healthcare, which has participated in this internship program, it really is about developing the next wave of talent. So it's so important that they put resources into the project, into the program, to again attract talent of the future. So 300 plus young people. There is a lot of success there on this sector partnership on attracting young people to be curious. And we're trying to continue to grow new slot opportunities. And again, 16 to 18, some of these businesses are even in Weld County, Boulder County. So this isn't even just a Larimer-focused set of businesses. It just is another nod towards regionalism.
Excellent. Generated another quick question. How successful are we in getting young people into careers, occupations that are viewed as historically non-traditional?
Oh, that's a great question.
Again, succinctness is always a good thing.
Yes. It's a priority. So, how I would say that might be health, getting young men into healthcare, young women into manufacturing, construction, some of these non-traditional, that's how I hear the question. So these sector partnerships are at the forefront of trying to do that.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So my comments are, well, first of all, for example, yesterday, Commissioner Stevens and I were at the regional child care summit in Longmont, and There was a lot of shout out for NOCO works and identifying barriers to meaningful employment. That's part of the equation. So I think that's really wonderful, and a lot of collaboration there, of course. And then also last week, I think it was last week, I had the privilege of attending the keynote at the Workforce Symposium at Ames Community College, and I was not disappointed by our keynote speaker. And I'm hoping that maybe you've talked to Laura, that we can figure out a proper way to follow up on that really excellent information. And I'm still hoping to get those slides.
Yep.
And then maybe we can figure out how we might bring that person in-house or use some of those tools to further advance the genius that is, you know, all about. And I'd like to chat with Lori a little bit about that as well. I mean, it was a great presentation. It was amazing. I wasn't disappointed. I'm glad I went there. You want to say anything about that, sir?
You know, what I just add for those listening, Dr. Rich Feller, Colorado State University. This person is an international legend in the work of career development. We have him here in our own home county. So yeah, seeing Dr. Feller speak about the future of work, you know, and how employers need to adapt. I think Commissioner Cafalis is something you're thinking about, and what we as a county, some nuggets that we could take from his presentation.
Will you send me the slides?
I sure will.
And also, Rich Feller and I go back to the 80s. I'm not very good about tooting my horn, but just that back in those days, we were working closely with the school districts to really make sure that they recognize the importance of career development and career counseling. There weren't many, quote, career counselors back then in the 80s, so I think we've come a long way. So that's a wonderful thing. I thank you for listening. Oh, Laura, do you want to add anything? Gosh, we haven't asked you on any of this stuff. Forgive me. I'm used to Lorenda being over there. I'm sorry.
That's right. Thank you, commissioners. I think that your comments speak to everything. I was checking them off. That's what I was thinking as you were all speaking. So the only thing I would add is congratulations to Mark and his team.
Gosh, thanks, Lori. Appreciate that. And I'm sure you were taking it all in regarding the proclamations that we did and the importance of all that. Well, we don't have anything to hold up, but I reckon, oh, we do? Oh, okay, we're going to pause for pictures. Thank you all. Oh, my. Oh, okay, we're back. Towards the end of our administrative matters meeting, we took a pause to take a couple of pictures, recognition from our director, Economic and Workforce Development, some really innovative and effective programs that are helping young people get experience and actually get hired into meaningful work that probably pays a halfway decent wage. So with that, we move on. County manager update. Lori, that's yours.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do have one thing that I'd like to share with you and with the community, and that's that we're drawing to the end of our budget process for this year, and we've tried something new this year in terms of reaching out to the community to host webinars or other kinds of activities to engage the community in that budget process. And last Friday, we had an hour discussion we invited the group that helped us put together the strategic plan, the 5-year strategic plan, and we had a very good turnout for that webinar, and lots of very good questions came up during that discussion. And so I'm certain that Michelle from our Office of Information will learn from that and keep some continuity with that group that helped us put together the strategic plan. And I would invite anyone from the community who's interested in the budgeting process to tune in to the October 15th meeting where we'll be presenting more information on the budget. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Lori. Is there anything else? Okay. Commissioner, do you have any questions or feedback for our acting county manager?
The only other thing I was going to say was we have another session with the community in Loveland. Is that correct with regard to the budget?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Do you know? I was trying to think of the date of that. It's a Saturday. Is a Saturday morning, I think.
Actually,
So maybe the 19th. Nope. It's coming up soon. We know that.
if we can't find that, where can folks find that on the website? Just go to our. You have
Oh,
it.
it
Lori?
is Saturday, October 26th. I found it at
Oh, really?
9:30 at the Loveland Public Library.
Oh.
So we will have a public budget meeting, and so we invite people to come out.
And
to that.
isn't it correct, Commissioner, that it would be a hybrid meeting? So, or is it just
at the
is it
library?
just
I
Zoom?
don't believe so. I believe it's that meeting's at
I
the
believe
Loveland
that
Public
one is in
Library.
person.
In person. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just appreciation. So we can now move into the final agenda item, Commissioner Activity Report. Anything you'd like to share?
I'll
Commissioner
just share a
Stevens?
few things. I'll be brief, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Just enjoyed going up to Red Feather Lakes with you. So we brought the extension director and some extension staff up to Red Feather Lakes, and we had some great conversations. So I think there's some good opportunities for partnership there. We on the non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise, we approved. We had a motion to approve the grant process that we're going, the NOFO, now I can't even think of what NOFO stands for, but it's the small grant program that we're rolling out, and so applications will be able to receive applications likely sometime this week, and that's $17 million worth of money that can go for small transportation projects that have been proven to lower ozone, ground level ozone, and that address the needs of underserved communities. So that was exciting. Took this tour of Red Mountain Open Space on Friday, which was really beautiful and a nice way to spend what was almost felt like a fall day, but it was a little too hot. We had our Conrad Ball Awards on Friday evening that honor people who do work in the community justice realm, and Chief Judge Blanco was our awardee, and so she has done a lot of great work with specialty courts, especially with competency court, and so she was acknowledged for all her work that she does as Chief Judge. Saturday we had the Fiesta fundraiser with La Familia, a great group who does sliding scale and affordable childcare in our community, takes CCAP dollars And so they've been a great partner with us. And then on Monday, to continue the childcare theme, Commissioner Kafalis and I went to the Regional Childcare Summit, where I spoke on a panel to talk about the really unique relationship we have with the Early Childhood Council of Larimer County and how we are working on dedicated funding for childcare in our community. So that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I guess I'll share a couple of things. I'll certainly strive to be brief. One is just to go in reverse chronological. Last night I attended a community film showing at the Lyric Theater, and it was put on by CSU Extension and something called Colorado Agribility. And there were two films. The one that I watched is called Legacy, and a very compelling, powerful movie. It's available on YouTube. I have the link, but it talks about ranchers in particular, but agriculture, and the reasons why folks do farming, but also the immense challenges and how that leads to it can lead to really serious mental health issues and struggles. They had a panel afterwards, and it was really well done. The takeaway is that I want to make sure I have the flyer and I have the link to the film, that our behavioral health services director is aware of this. And in fact, on Thursday we have the BHA, Behavioral Health Administration, Commissioner Danette Smith. They're coming up to do a community meeting at Ozatlan, and I want to make sure that she's connected with our ag folks about these things. So that was very powerful. On Sunday, I participated at the Daughters of the American Revolution. I have pictures, figure out if I ever get them out, but they were doing a historic marker ceremony at the Virginia Dale Community Church, which is pretty darn amazing. That church was established in 1880, and then it burned down in 2003, an arsonist fire. They rebuilt it in 2004, and the Daughters of the American Revolution go through a very meticulous process for doing the research to figure out the inscription that they put on a granite rock right by the church, that it's proper and well researched. So that was a really cool event up at Virginia Dale. Saturday, certainly enjoyed being at some of these events with my colleagues. Saturday also was the Hero Fest, which was at the Front Range Village, and it's always a great festival. I went with the granddaughter, and a lot of our folks were there, emergency management, public health, etc. So that's a great thing. Goes from 10 a.m. to 2, and that was also, again, I'm glad that we had a chance to participate. Friday, of course, Conrad Ball. I guess the other two things I'll mention is I did attend on Thursday, I think it's something called NOCO Trail Summit. This was put on by transportation planning folks. I learned more about active transportation planning, but essentially I was looking at our trail system and multimodal, and it was a very interesting event. They had a couple of speakers, they had networking and all that, and then finally Wednesday night, and connected with La Familia, the Family Center, there was a great presentation at Azatlan about Mi Voz, which is one of the programs that comes out of the Family Center, and what they do and some of the issues that they're involved in. So that's all well and good, and I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening. I don't believe there's anything else. Therefore, at 10:20 a.m., we are adjourned. We thank our FCTV folks and all the folks who are still here.